Nathan, how do you feel your own season is going so far? You seem to have had a really good start to the season.
Yeah, no, so far I'm happy. Obviously, I started the season, played a few games, then got a little setback with the injury, but luckily it wasn't too bad. But no, yeah, I feel I'm progressing well, and yeah, hopefully I can continue like this.
When City went out and bought another centre half in August, were you worried at all?
No, I'm not worried. I think he's been superb since he's been here. He's a great guy as well, so it's good for the team. And yeah, we know at a club like this there's so much competition. There's so many top players, so for sure every game you have to perform.
Yeah, sorry, just chat there. Thank you.
Hi Nathan. You were talking about there being so much competition. Obviously, you've been at the club a couple of years now. How long did it take you to get used to the competition, that you might play a couple of games and then be on the bench for a couple of games, and there's quite a lot of rotation? How difficult is that as a defender?
Well, my first season wasn't great anyway because of the injuries and a lot of stop and start and stuff, so it was difficult. I think the second season, yeah, you get used to it. I think, yeah, knowing what kind of squad we have, the manager uses all the players of the squad. So yeah, maybe you have to get used to it a little bit, but I think in the end, when you get that, then yeah, it can only benefit you and help you, yeah, to play with every player of the team. And yeah, I think the more you play, the more confidence you get, the better you get, and yeah, I think it's only a good thing.
With that, how do you manage to maintain your rhythm in performance?
Well, there's so many games nowadays as well, so every 3 days there's a game. And I think it's also training. You have to perform in training every day. Make sure you do everything you can to make sure you start. And yeah, if you start, then it's up to you to perform and show the manager you want to play the next game as well.
Hi Nathan. As a defender, obviously, give us a little bit of an insight in training how you go about sort of marking Erling Haaland. You know, what's the way to sort of approach marking a quite good player like him?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good challenge. Now training obviously is a little bit less intense because there's so many matches, but it's always a good test. He's strong, he's fast. He can come in 2 feet, but also running behind. So it's difficult to mark him. It's difficult, but I think for us defenders, it's good to see the way he plays. Also, in the way of when we have the ball, how he wants to get the ball, but also yeah, in training against him as well to make sure you do well.
With some players, is there just some situations where you know you can't defend against them just because of the moment it happens and it's almost impossible? Is that why he's so good?
Yeah, no, I think he's showing how good he is in games. He's scoring a lot of goals. He's always at the right position, but also yeah, he's just, as I said, he's got so many different attributes. Sometimes he's a player strong and maybe not so fast, but yeah, he's got everything. So yeah, hopefully he can continue that.
I just asked, how close did you come to leaving City in the summer?
Sorry?
How close did you come to leaving the club in the summer, and what sort of kept you at the club? Why did you say?
No, in the end, I'm just very happy to be here. I think you know, football sometimes is always strange. Sometimes these things happen, and no, in the end, yeah, very happy that I stayed. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Hi Nathan. Talking about your adaptation to City and being here for a couple of seasons now, in terms of like the style of play, obviously you came through Chelsea and you were known for having the ball at your feet, but coming from Bournemouth and it was a lot more deep defending and less time on the ball. How did you find that adaptation, and is that something that took a while to get used to? Because we talk about players needing time to settle in, like Jack Grealish, for example, Rodri, Cancelo. Is that also the case for defenders?
Yeah, I think both, because over here as a defender, you have to do both. You have to defend, but you also have to start attacks most of the times. And the manager gives so much insight and he's got so much knowledge of football and the way he wants to play and stuff. I think is such high level that you have to get to that. But I think the only thing you can do is learn, and I think over the years I've learned a lot, as you said, on the ball, but defensively as well. So it's certainly interesting, and I think maybe I had to get used to that at the first season. And but yeah, I think now I know it.
And in terms of Erling again, from a defender's perspective, because we've seen him move around the back of defenders a lot, like he did in the derby and again at the weekend a lot. What is it like, you know, when you're just marking somebody and he's here and all of a sudden he's over there and the ball's already gone? Like, how do you feel? Like, even if that just happens in training, how difficult is that? Like, can you put that into words?
It is difficult because he's got very good movement, as you said. He runs off the second defender sometimes, but then other times he comes in the ball and you think, oh, should I go close or should I leave him because he might run in behind again? So I think he gives different options, and I think that's very dangerous about his game. So yeah, that helps us a lot for sure at the moment.
Hi Nathan. City have started obviously brilliantly in the Champions League. Going great guns in the Premier League, and you've got the World Cup to look forward to, and you know, possible run to the final of the Champions League. This could, having started with a uncertainty over your position, this could be your best season of your life, couldn't it?
Yeah, but it's a bit long to far to look forward to that. I think at the moment it's just game by game. These next few games are very, very important for us. I think for myself, for the team. For the season, and I think then after you can look forward to the World Cup and stuff like that. But no, at the moment I'm very happy. I think the team is very happy. We're doing well. We're in a good flow, but it's only the beginning, so we have so much more to do.
Could I just ask you, with the improvement in the strikers, is that improving the defence as well, and vice versa?
Yeah, I think overall, every day. You want to improve as a team, so with that comes, we have to improve as defenders, but also strikers as well. It's difficult to say if the one improves the other ones. I think as defenders, in training as well, we sometimes do our own drills, our own things to make sure we do better and try to do better in games. So that's what we look at, and I think we can always improve and always do better.
Hi Nathan, TV2 Norway, touching on Erling Braut Haaland. He smashes every record he comes along now. He scores in every game. In what way is he unique compared to other strikers you played with and against?
I think he's I think, as I said before, I think he's got all the attributes. You know, sometimes you play with strikers and they have a few very good attributes where they're very good at, and difficult to defend like that. But this guy I think he's got everything. Left foot, right foot, goal scorer. As I said before, fast, strong, but also good with his feet. And also outside of that, a very nice guy as well. So for me, he's got all.
Most Norwegians are quite. I can tell you. There have been some jokes about him not being human. Have you checked?
No. I'm sure he is.
And on a lighter note, there's a video circling the internet now from a sort of a team-building session you had on the training pitch. There was a table with some small yellow cones, and he was celebrating like he's won the World Cup, which he will never do with Norway anyway. But, is he always that competitive in training?
Yeah, he is. But I can show you everyone is in the team. If you watch this kind of games or even small games like two-touch and stuff like that, the whole team is very, very competitive and everyone wants to win. But him for sure as well.
Nathan, there's such huge sort of attention around Erling. Do you think a lot of the other players are benefiting from maybe the spotlight being away from them individually? Because right across the team there seem to be so many of you in excellent form, and Erling just seems to be drawing so much attention away. You're all thriving as a consequence. I
don't know benefiting, but I think at the moment, as you said, I think everyone is just in a very good place. Also him, obviously he gets a lot of press and plaudits, but still the way he continue working and he continues to not to get ahead of himself and trying to improve himself and the team. I think just shows what kind of team we have and how competitive we are to not just be happy what we have now, but to make sure we keep on going.
Hi, Nathan. In one of your answers, you said game by game. and of course every player dreams to win the titles, and of course this is a mentality of just focusing on the short term. How do you train to be like that and not to get too distracted when things go so well, to think too much ahead of you? Is it something that you been trained as a kid, or it's more like a City mentality, you think?
I think as an individual, I think through the years, as you get older, you get a few experiences like this anyway, where maybe there's one period of your life you're doing really well, and you think, okay, I'm doing well, I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking already forward to next stages. And then maybe the next game you lose by 4-0 or something because you're not sharp or you're not focused on the next game ahead. And I think all the players will maybe, at least I speak for myself, had the experience like this, where you open your eyes, you think, okay, it's actually true what they say, that you have to focus on the next game. Otherwise, your mind starts to wander and you're not 100% focused on the next one. So I think everyone's got that at this club, and yeah, at the moment we're doing that right, but we have to continue that.
Bit of a new subject, but what do you expect of the game tomorrow against Copenhagen?
Yeah, I expect it to be tough. I think, knowing, I think that when they came to our place, the atmosphere from the fans who travelled was very good. So I expect it here to be very good and difficult to play. And I'm sure they want to win the game. So we have to be prepared. We have to be focused, like the last game we played against them. And yeah, hopefully we can win the game.
Can they cause some troubles to you?
Yeah, of course. I think in the second half, I think they changed their shape a little bit, and that they created a little bit more dangerous plays. So yeah, I'm sure they will have looked at the game and maybe try to do different things in this game to come.
We'll do a final one in the corner, please, guys.
Are there any specific players you've been talking about from FC Copenhagen?
No, not really. More as a team, to be honest. Yeah, just looking at previous games they played, and yeah, looking at how we can beat them, what way we can hurt them, and what way they can hurt us. So more as a team.
We've just been speaking to Nathan about Erling Haaland and what he's like on the training pitch. He started every game so far for Manchester City. Are there any plans to rest him tomorrow night? And are you treating him differently in this stage of the season because he's not going to the World Cup in November? Do you feel you can sort of push him more than some of the other players until the World Cup starts?
No. I don't think a selection thinking the World Cup, so the national trainers will decide to handle the players when they get it. So they don't think about us, we're not going to think about them. So tomorrow I'm going to decide what is the team selection, because just 2 days I have to speak with the players, with the physios, the doctors, and decide what's the best. We'll see.
Pep, you've in recent games, obviously, you've had such handsome victories that you've been able to take off a lot of key players well before the end. Do you think that could have a really significant impact for you in this really hectic month of fixtures? Do you think when you get to the back end of October you could really benefit from that?
Yeah, it's true that the last 25-30 minutes when the games are tight is when the fatigue increase and the risk for the injuries rise. This is the reality. But yeah, of course, lately we were lucky to score the goals in the first half, in the beginning, the second, and after we can rotate, not just to rest players for this fatigue, always to be involved everyone. So, and the last game was good with everybody playing minutes, a lot, all of them. And when we need them, they will be ready. And tomorrow will not be an exception.
Could it help combat fatigue issues, though, possibly this month? Could it be a factor for you, a beneficial factor?
No, I don't know. Every game is differently, so it's different. So no, I don't think so. Every game in every history, so the players can handle 90 minutes, and sometimes when I like when everybody can help to be involved, everyone to the team, and play as best as possible and reach the best level. Everyone, I like it, and when I can use it. So we have this weapon right now, the 5 substitutions, but that doesn't mean you can use it. Sometimes I'm not going to use it and play just the same one they start, and sometimes I'm going to use 5. So we'll see.
Hi, Pep. FC Copenhagen has played some good matches here in Park and in international games in the past. Do you expect them to be a more difficult opponent tomorrow than it was last week?
Yeah, they used to speak of itself. He has always have been difficult for many important teams, and I'm pretty sure the players of Copenhagen have pride. And if we play in Copenhagen after 2 months, our game at home will be different. But just 1 week later, still is there, and they have pride, and they will perform better, and it's going to happen. Will be a completely different way, but at the same time, you have the opportunity to close our qualification for next stage, and we're going to try tomorrow.
Hi Pep, I think it was after the first Champions League game in Seville when you said Foden had played really well, and before that he'd maybe been a bit up and down. I think since then, in the 4 or 5 weeks since, he seems to have played much better. I'm just wondering what you think of his performances and how he's done generally this season, left and right.
Yeah, that's right. The last games we performed really well. Our downs are few minutes. In general, we are understanding, we're pressing much better, more effectively. Our build-up is much better in different ways we can do it. And yeah, I'm more than satisfied so far.
Sorry, that was a good answer, but I meant to say that was about Phil Foden specifically.
Foden about?
The question was about Phil Foden initially. So after the Seville game, you said he was good, but before maybe not so consistent. But since then, has he been good?
Yeah, really good. Really good. No complaints.
As overall this season, how do you think the team has been defending?
Well, I would say the last game's better. But yeah, sometimes sometimes in general it's good. We can do better, yeah, in many aspects, but in general I'm satisfied. But we are a period like when you play 3 games, in just in 3 days, we don't have that much time to analyze or thinking how is our situation, you know that? After Liverpool game, we say, okay, we have a long week, and after that time, okay, we're doing better. But now it's yesterday we're at home, and just to prepare, you don't have much time to reflect how is the position display or the other one, how we are attacking or defending. It's matter, okay, now it's Copenhagen, next one. Review the game, what we have done good, what we can do better, what first half they play 4 in the back, second half they play 5 in the back, how we have to handle both situations if they decide to play in these ways, what do you have to do, and like he asked me about fielding. I don't have much time now to think about a specific situation. In general, it's good because the last 3 games, we are playing better and scoring a lot of goals, conceding few chances, and this is what the level we had in the previous 4 or 5 seasons. And I'm like that because that means the team is still here. No, this didn't disappear, and this is good.
I was wondering how difficult it is for you as a manager to not really have the same back 4 playing most weeks, because ordinarily, traditionally, managers would want the same back 4 week in, week out.
Yeah, I would love to have the same back 4, but they cannot handle, for the players that we have, they cannot handle every 3 days and being fit. The other teams, maybe they can do it, we can't. For the players we have, Jonathan can, Nathan can't, Ruben last season still fell down, and Jaime came back from the big injury. So, and it's important for us, everybody can play and everybody can perform well. If you want to be in there with all the titles we are fighting, plus World Cup, being in that position until the end, being ready to fight for them. Otherwise, it's so difficult.
Yes, good evening, Pep. TV2 Norway. It's still early in Erling Braut Haaland's career at City. He had to adapt to the club and the team, but has he, and the way he plays, changed your style of play in any way? Has the team had to adapt to him in a way?
But it's happened. It works so far. So of course we adapt a little bit, and he adapt. Yeah, we know each other on and off the pitch. But he settled perfectly and quickly because he's a nice guy. He listens well, he understands the things quickly. He's able to do it for himself, for the team. The team feels protect with him. We know we have an incredible threat up front, weapon to use him. And at the same time, he knows what you have to do because mates, they do it. And when that happens, the situations come easy.
And you faced a lot of great strikers, both as a player and a manager. Who would you compare him to, or is he unique in his own way?
Absolutely, he's one of the best, no doubt about that. I had many, they're very, very good, all of them, and Erling is one of them. So the numbers speak for itself, for the fact that early age, how many goals in Champions League in Norway, in Austria, in Germany, now in England. So I speak a lot about him, about these questions, but sometimes I should not sell anything. It just look the numbers, what he does on the pitch, it will be enough. It will be enough.
And some of the numbers are 11 touches, 2 goals in 45 minutes. The last time you played FC Copenhagen, how is it possible to be so deadly and have such an impact on the game with so few touches?
Yeah, I've had the feeling that comparing in the beginning, like for example against Bournemouth, I remember in other games I was not much involved in the game. Now it's much more involved, not just to score a goal, but we know when we arrive in the final third in the box, we have a special instinct to know exactly when the ball is going to finish to put in the net, and this is why he's an exceptional striker.
Good evening, Pep. How have you prepared your team for FC Copenhagen?
As every game, and we are not going to underestimate them, that's for sure. It's our nature, the nature of the manager, the players they have, and the nature of the players. That's why in these seasons all the time we try to reach lesser stages in all competitions, and tomorrow will not be an exception. So hopefully if it doesn't work well, it's because Copenhagen did it really, really well, not because we were not in our best. So Champions League, we don't have many options, we have few, and we have to use it. And tomorrow we have the first match ball, to finish already in the last 16, and we are going to try to get it tomorrow.